At the close of last week, the parliamentarian in the Senate decided to rule or advise that the minimum wage increase could not be a part of the COVID bill. And the Democrats in charge apparently decided that despite the fact that that is just advice and they could totally overrule it, they're gonna go along with that. But at least after that decision, Senate Finance Chair Ron Wyden and Senate Budget Chair Bernie Sanders said that they would instead seek to add tax penalties on large corporations that fail to pay $15 an hour, an idea viewed as less likely to be struck down by the parliamentarian and still helpful to some minimum wage workers. So the idea is, okay, we're not gonna actually raise your wages, but we're gonna do something that like maybe could result in your wages being increased. So there's a plan B. And a couple days later, now senior Democrats, including Wyden and Sanders, are walking away from that backup effort, according to two people who spoke on the condition of anonymity to share internal discussions. They were expecting to face an uphill battle in persuading the entire Senate Democratic caucus to support a proposal that they would only have days to draft. The White House has not indicated support for the corporate tax penalty idea. And so, is there anything? I don't know, is there anything? Why all of a sudden does every little inclination or thought that the parliamentarian has have to become national news? Was that did that happen during the Republican years that where they were just constantly being stymied by the Senate parliamentarian? I don't remember that actually. But anyway, we've gone from raising minimum wage to maybe kind of backdoor raising minimum wage, maybe somehow, to, I don't know, maybe something someday? I don't know. I honestly don't know.
It's incredibly disappointing. It is horribly frustrating that Democrats cannot overrule and will not overrule the parliamentarian on this one and say, no, we're gonna put the $15 minimum wage raise into the stimulus, into this disaster relief. It is disaster relief, it is stimulus. It will do a whole hell of a lot. And before you even can whine about it, it will actually help your constituency, and it will help working people. So I'm at a loss. I don't think that the issue is dead, of course. Obviously, in order to then pass the $15 minimum wage, in an otherwise terms, you'll need to abolish a filibuster because you're not gonna get 60 votes on raising the minimum wage because Republicans want people to die in squalor, as does Kristen Sinema and Joe Manchin. But it's ridiculous that Kamala Harris, that the vice president will not flex on this one, will not override the parliamentarian like so many Republicans have done in order to pass giant tax breaks, $1.9 trillion tax breaks to the most wealthy of the United States. So what are we doing here if not this? What are we doing if not pushing this forward? I'm completely at a loss. I don't understand why Democrats can't control the narrative on this. And again, if we're looking at 2022, you don't have much time, y'all. You guys don't have much time to prove that you're worth it, that you're different, that you have ideas.
Okay, you have $100 to bet now on who's gonna win in 2022. How does this change your betting decision?
It changes it a lot because I think that you have a mobilized Democratic base that came out for you, that flipped a southern state blue, right? That flipped Georgia blue for you, for $2,000, for a $15 minimum wage. You've got a mobilized, excited base, and you're gonna squander that by not taking these bold steps, by not helping people out. You're gonna see lower voter turnout, and in specifically among Black and brown Americans, among working class Americans, among people who've traditionally and consistently been left out of the political process because they don't have any more reason to believe that any politician is working for them at all.
You're 100% right. Based on the first month, I mean, look, we gave Biden credit for literally everything that we could. And you were on a lot of those, Francesca. Yeah. You know we did it.
I will. Yes, we just did in this hour. We did when we're talking about labor.
But what we also said, those things are perfectly good, but they're also the easiest things to do. Some things will be harder, and that is what people are going to influence their political decisions based on. And we are now seeing what that looks like in practice. If this is a sign of how Democrats will approach the use of their power over the next 2 years, they will lose, And I think a very good case could be made that they 100% deserve to lose. And unfortunately, like we were talking about on the show on Friday, in this particular case, maybe he's got some sort of master plan that I don't know about. I don't know. We don't talk on the phone. Bernie Sanders is largely going along with this. Like he's the budget committee chairman. If it's not in the bill, it's because he took it out. He could put this amendment in. If he doesn't, it's because he chooses not to. Now, maybe he's got some other plan, but I don't know what the plan is. And again, he ain't my granddad. He's one of my favorite politicians, but that's about as far as it goes. He still has to make the right decision. So on Friday, Cenk started the hashtag Don't Kill It Bernie to not pull the minimum wage increase out. They could still override the parliamentarian. And there are a lot of Democrats pushing them to do that. A group of nearly 24 House Democrats sent a letter on Monday calling on Kamala Harris to override the parliamentarian. There was Congressman Khanna, as well as all the people you'd expect, putting out a statement saying that if they don't overrule it, they're condoning poverty wages for millions of Americans, and that's 100% true. I wish we had more time to focus on that statement because it's a great letter, but they could still override this. And if they don't, and if they can't do this, that is so incredibly both appropriate to a COVID aid package, incredibly popular, incredibly what you've been promising that got people to vote for you. If they can't do that and they're not gonna overturn the filibuster, then let's just pack it in. Let's do movie reviews for the next couple of years because ain't nothing gonna happen. Honestly, what is going to happen? Maybe some more executive orders, a few more. Maybe
they're definitely not. They're not going to abolish the filibuster, right? Like they're not going to try and get on that train. I know it's like even to abolish the filibuster, I think you need 60 votes. So you don't need 60 votes.
The Senate rules governing the use of the filibuster that's established by the party and the majority. You can do that with just a majority vote.
51 votes.
Again, it isn't in the Constitution. It isn't a law. It is just sort of the rules of operation of the Senate. And those rules are changed. Virtually every new Senate changes those rules. This is one that you could change.
Well, there you go, John. There you go. I mean, look, if they're not putting $15 minimum wage into this stimulus and they're not abolishing the filibuster, so if they don't do this and they pass it, okay. But if they abolish, then let's go to the filibuster. You willing to do the filibuster? My guess is no. But if you are, then I will continue to have faith. We could still get some stuff done. If not, let's do them movie reviews, man, and like get this AOC 2024 campaign started because that's sort of where we're at right now. Sure. Kamala would not deserve to be the next president at all.
No, definitely. Look, we said, by the way, she definitely wants to run for president, then make the case. And you've got a great platform from which to do that. If she were to overrule the parliamentarian, well, now she's got my curiosity or whatever. It's been a while since I saw that movie. But it would be a good sign. Now give me 4 years of her doing that, and maybe she could actually earn some progressive votes.
Yes.
But if she is no better than Biden on these things, if she's no better than Joe Manchin on these things, then what's the point? What's the point of any of that? For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.